click the go live button and let me check on YouTube. All right, we are live. So, hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. You can say hi to us in the chat. So, tonight we have Max with us.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Peggy, for inviting me to the stream.
Okay. Hello. Okay, I can see. So I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but JHK. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but hello and thank you for joining. And let's let's wait for a few more like seconds, then we will start. I hope you all already have dinner and sitting comfortably in front of your computer and get ready for tonight's session. Okay, so don't mind me. Okay, don't mind me. That's interesting name. Hi, hi. So maybe you can let us know where are you joining from. Maybe some of you from Malaysia, some of you from Hong Kong, and some of you from other countries. I don't know. So maybe you can put that in the chat. Let us know where are you calling from, or you want to share what was your dinner. That's also fine. Oh, okay, Malaysia. Okay, good to have you here. I guess maybe you are our 10 left students. Maybe you can share what's the course you took here. All right. So it's 2 past 9. So I don't want to waste too much time on opening because we have okay, you are front end. Okay, we have more important content to deliver from Max today. So just before I hand over to Max, I will just give a very short introduction about Max. You all know our topic today is about crypto industry, but before he was actually Max was a equity trader, and also he actually has a master degree in management science and engineering, and also bachelor degree in mathematics and economics. So it's very special journey. So he will share his experience with us from like how he transit the career like from the engineering background to like more finance and also crypto industry. And and of course, as usual, if you have any question, please feel free to put your question in the chat anytime. You don't need to wait until the end. Okay. And so I will hand over to Max. He will give us a brief introduction about the industry and also maybe a bit of his background, his experience. And feel free to put your question in the chat. Okay, and the floor is yours, Max.
Okay, thank you, Peggy. Thank you very much for the introduction. Yeah, so I guess a little bit about myself. I studied math and industrial engineering in college, but unlike most of my friends in school, I actually went on to do a career in trading. So it's quite normal for people in finance to have engineering backgrounds, but I guess it's not also not expected for people to take this path. So yeah, I went to become a trader at a. I found it interesting, but after a while, it honestly, I felt like there was I wanted to explore different things. So I tried a few different trading jobs at different financial firms, and ultimately decided, oh, maybe I should like get out of finance and try something new. So that's why I decided to join to work as a crypto trader instead. So I could transition into crypto, but also like still maintain the trading element. And that was in 2020. So I've been doing this for the past close to 4 years now, and it's been really fun. Lots of ups, lots of downs, and hope for now there's been more ups than downs. So that's been good. And today I just wanted to do like a very general talk about the crypto industry. I just wanted to share with you guys who are the major players and what kind of careers are available for you guys if you are interested in pursuing a career in crypto, as well as looking at some of the future trends in crypto that are available. So you can maybe, if you do want to join crypto, pick something that is going to be growing. So yeah, I think without further ado, I personally think there are four major players in crypto, and you'll see these are all quite interlinked. So the first and the most important component are the blockchain projects. So these are the startups that use blockchain to build a product. And the most famous ones that you have probably heard of are Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum. So these are both like Bitcoin was the first blockchain that came out essentially. And it was kind of used as a proof of concept to show that blockchains really work. Whereas Ethereum was like relatively newer. And that was kind of it Ethereum, the idea behind Ethereum was you could build apps on top of the blockchain and use the Ethereum blockchain to have a very secure um, way of processing your transactions. So, in addition to blockchains, there are also a lot of applications within the ecosystem that we'll talk about. But that is one of the major players. So most of these blockchain projects usually also have a token associated with them. So for Ethereum, you have ETH, and these some of these tokens can be mined using special hardware, and this is where the miners come in. So ETH, for example, used to be mined very aggressively by special hardware miners, and these miners will be in the in very far-flung areas of the world doing this. And these tokens that come out from, say, mining or just issued out of nowhere, these can be traded on exchanges, and that's where the third major player, exchanges, come in. So the biggest exchange out there is Binance. I think some of you in the audience have probably heard of them. You might have even traded on Binance, and it's the biggest one out there. But there's also a whole list of other exchanges out there. I see in the chat that there are definitely some users that have used Binance, and the fourth major player is people like our audience members who have used Binance. These are the investors, people who buy and sell cryptocurrency. So let's dive a bit deeper into each of these major players. So the first one I want to talk about is blockchain projects. So we've talked about blockchain. So we've talked about how Bitcoin and Ethereum, these are both blockchains, and you can use them to have a very secure transactions. You can basically make sure that when you do something, no one can reverse it, no one can alter it. And what's the point of this? So people can build applications on top of that. You have, for example, games. Some of you might have played a game called Axie, which is maybe one of the biggest games out there in crypto. And the idea is you can save your progress, you can save the characters you own on the blockchain. Um, in addition to games, you can also have if you can also have borrow and lending platforms. So if I have some ETH, and I don't know what to do with it, I can stake, I can deposit it on Aave, and I can earn a yield on that. And that's great because if I have nothing to do, if I don't have anything to use the ETH for, I can just leave it there and earn additional ETH. You also have NFT projects. So this Board Ape might be something that some of you have heard of. NFTs, they essentially like an item that you can store on the blockchain, and you can send it to other people. And maybe there are some additional benefits that come with the NFTs. It really depends. Some NFTs might, for example, Bored Ape, if you hold one of those, you can go to some of their events that are held around the world every year. So that's pretty cool. Another category of blockchain projects that are out there is data analytics. So that's these are companies, these are startups that allow people to more precisely look at the transactions on the blockchain, because without these companies, it's actually very hard to see what's happening on the blockchain. I can use Nansen, for example, to see, oh, which NFTs are popular, or oh, are people buying or selling ETH? So Nansen in that case is quite interesting. Now, what jobs are available for blockchain projects? All of these startups, I would say, they need a lot of programmers, especially the Web3 programming, so Solidity, or even, but it's not just Solidity, it's the whole spectrum. You need people who know how to do front end, you need people who know how to do back end. It's the whole range, and you need a lot of marketers. So I would say if you are interested in working for a blockchain project, the best way to reach out to them is just to go on Twitter and find their Discord chat and just reach out to them directly, because they're pretty decentralized. It's the best. You won't really find them advertised on, say, LinkedIn. The easiest way is to just go and reach out to them directly. A lot of them are quite aggressively hiring, so it's a good opportunity if it's something you're interested in. Now, let's go on to exchanges. So these are probably Binance and OKX. These are probably the biggest two exchanges right now, and they're very big because they're very powerful in the blockchain world. Because if you want to buy crypto tokens, it's basically the first thing you have to interact with. And in addition to just trading tokens, they have other functions. You can they have an education page where you can learn about the crypto tokens and how they what their history is, what their mission is, and most of them even have some sort of payment service where you can, for example, if I have a Binance account and you have a Binance account, I can send money to you, or you can send money to me free of charge. So the idea there is you can bypass the very expensive money remittance fees. Yeah, so I would say, like, you can think of these exchanges as kind of a combination of a tech company and also a bank. So as a result, from a job perspective, they need a lot of programmers, just the whole spectrum, back end, front end, web design, UI, UX. And they also need a lot of marketers, just like before. And also, in addition to these two, they need a lot of people to work on the compliance side, because you want to make sure that your users are not doing illegal activities such as money laundering. um, and yeah, so that is something that is definitely of a lot of big focus to them. In addition to compliance, you also see them have a very big research and a product team to make sure they're constantly building new things that are interesting to the users. If you want to apply to exchanges, you should really just apply on their website. Each of the exchanges has a job section, a job page that you can apply directly to. So yeah, let's go on to um, the next major player in the blockchain world, and that is investors. So in the investing world, these investors will trade with exchanges, but there's many different types of investors. You have the individual investors, so these are like your mom and pop, anyone, the smaller traders out there. And you have the much larger professional funds, and within the larger professional funds, you have a huge variety of of different categories. So you have everything from market makers, which are people that don't really try to hold tokens for a long time. They just want to buy and sell, make the market more efficient. And you have longer term funds that think that, oh, this project is going to do a good job. That's why I'm going to buy and hold and wait a few years to see how this project goes out. And then you even have, say, venture funds that invest in a company before it's launched its token. So it's a whole spectrum. And as an investor, the barriers to entry is actually quite low. Anyone can open a Binance account. There's It's really quite easy to do. The amounts of money that you need to invest are quite low. The data is free for you to look at, unlike trading in the stock market. So yeah, anyone can do it, but obviously there's a lot more risk working as an investor than working for a project or working for an exchange. So for those that are interested in becoming a crypto investor, I would really recommend joining an investment firm first, or maybe a trading firm first, to just so you can dip your toes in and understand how things are done. And lastly, we have the last category, which are miners. So miners, they used hardware to mine coins using specialized hardware. So I'm not sure if you remember, but a few years ago there was a big crunch for GPUs, and that a big reason for that was because people were using them to mine Ethereum. So people were just taking them off the shelf and trying to use them to mine Ethereum. And now this opportunity is gone for Ethereum, but you still see miners mine other things. So, for example, Bitcoin and some of the smaller coins out there. You typically won't encounter these people too much because tend to work in pretty remote locations because they need very cheap electricity. That's the key to their profitability. However, if you do want to join a miner, the set of skills you need are quite different to the first three that I talked about earlier. You need to have pretty good hardware skills, I would say, and also you have to have a good understanding of where can I get good electricity, how to sign agreements on buying good electricity. It's it's an interesting problem, and the next thing I want to talk about is just for these four major these four major types of people, what are the future trends? So I think for blockchain projects, uh, the biggest interest right now is in games, and by games I mean you can. So for example, there are games where um, I can buy items and store the items and sell items to other people using real world money, and that is very different to existing games out there. Axie tried to do this, and to be honest, they weren't very successful. So the model for this game has to be figured out, and I don't think anyone has really figured it out yet. But I am hopeful that someone will figure out how to incorporate real world assets into games in the future. So I think if games is something you're interested in, pursuing crypto games is a very worthwhile endeavor. One other aspect of blockchain startups that I think are quite interesting are just the social apps. So you have some apps on the blockchain that are trying to replace, say, Twitter. They're trying to replace your WhatsApp, and I think it's definitely something that would be attractive to the privacy-minded individual who can see my content, and maybe even it might even be easier as a user of the social apps to charge because I have control over who can see what. Um, for exchanges, I think the future trends are less bright in a sense. I think there will be much more compliance. These exchanges will be much more like a traditional bank. So I think if you are interested in an exchange, maybe the route to go there is to work in compliance or to work in the tech that underlies the compliance side. I think that's going to be play a very big role going into the future. Um, for if you're a miner, if you're interested in mining, there's actually been quite a big shift from doing hardware mining to what they call proof of work to moving to more of a proof of stake concept. So instead of mining using hardware, I mine by depositing the tokens I already own onto a platform. So there are specialized startups that do this. So say Lido, they will you can just give them your coins and they will handle everything for you for a fee. And I think that's the trend to go. Great. So that's actually all I have for today. I wanted to keep it short to allow people to ask any questions you have.
Thank you, Max, for giving us a brief introduction about the industry. And so I think earlier we had uh, Nahira asked about the question that what kind of experience are they looking for to enter this industry. I'm not sure if we answer your question, but I think maybe she also wants to know. I'm not sure if she was asking about minor or blockchain or other roles in the industry, but
Right. So
maybe
I think,
Max can give us a bit more.
yeah, I think from an experience point of view, they will hire across the spectrum. Obviously, like they want people with a lot of experience on one hand, but they're also very happy to take in new people without um, any crypto experience because they know that most of the people in this world have not heard of crypto.
All right. And okay, so okay, William. Hi, William. Nice to see you here. And okay, William's question: can you enter this industry with banking and use it as a way to go back to into tech?
Yeah, yeah. So definitely. I think so. I know from a personal experience that quite a few of my colleagues, ex-colleagues, went into crypto. There were traders that went and joined a crypto trading team. You also had just like product managers at a bank who went and jumped to an exchange working as a product manager. So I think it's actually quite interlinked. If anything, these crypto startups are actually they like people from banking because they think that people have a good training working at a bank. Um, the second part of your question, and use this as a go back as use this as a way to go back into tech. Um, So I'm assuming what you mean by that is you want to go from banking to crypto and then back into a regular tech company. I think that's also possible. Um, Tech companies are pretty pretty flexible. They take people from any background. I would say you just need to pass the many coding interviews. Honestly, I think you don't even need to do the crypto step in the middle. You can just go directly from banking back into a tech company.
Okay, so I hope that answer your question, William. But feel free to ask other question if you still have something in your mind. And let's move to the next question. So, as engineer here, now a programmer for crypto exchange, I'm still unsure of the future of this industry holds. What's your insight? Wow, such a nice question.
um, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. I think as with any startup, um, most crypto projects will fail. Uh, that's the unfortunate truth. Um, but I do think cryptocurrency as a whole has gotten a bit too big to like completely die out in say the next 10, 20 years. Now, how big, like, can it still continue to grow? That's a big question, and no one really knows. Um, I think the main problem in for the crypto industry as a whole is there's a lot of cool technology. Um, there's a lot of innovative technology, but there's no like killer use case available right now. There's nothing where I have to use crypto, nothing where I have to use blockchain. Um, right now, everything that people are building can really be done with a database. And I think as soon as that changes, as soon as people figure out, oh, okay, there's something that I need the blockchain for, that will change, that will trigger an avalanche uh, of acceptance in crypto.
Okay, so hope that answer your question. And let me check. There's more question. Feel free to ask more question if you have anything in your mind. Still have time. Okay. So if there's no question at the moment, maybe I can also ask some question next.
Yeah, definitely, Peggy.
So yeah, because I'm also quite curious, like do you have, can you provide maybe a bit more specific example how your technical skill have influenced your like trading stage strategy or your decision, like from your academic background?
Yeah, so I think um, what sets me apart from say other traders is um, I have a decent programming background. So so other people they might I can write my own coding strategies when I if I see something that I want to automate. I can if I see an algorithm that I want to run on Binance, I can write up the code and let it run. Whereas a lot of traders, they especially the ones without an engineering background, they cannot do this. They will need to work with an engineer um, to develop a strategy and launch it. So for me, that I can save that step, and as a result, I can go a lot faster. I don't than other people. And I think
Okay, that's
another thing that the math and engineering background helped taught me was like just to think from first principles. So I guess in math and engineering, they teach you to drill down to the definitions. So for me, when I when I'm trading and I see, oh, okay, this strategy isn't working too well, I I can use this training to spend hours just looking very deeply into a trading strategy to see, okay, is it which part of the section is not working, if of the algorithm is not working, and I'm very willing to just dive very deep into the algorithm.
okay, thank you. That's I think that's a nice thing to have a engineering background in this industry, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely helps. So well, and it's I don't I'm not saying this to tell everyone, oh, you should all go get an engineering degree. I think each degree has its benefits. So I mean, if you are a an arts degree, um, you can create your own NFT collection because you can draw and you can like design like pretty stuff. So that's something that you can do that I cannot do. So everyone has their own advantages.
Okay, that sounds cool. And actually, because you mentioned in your presentation, you mentioned I think it was in block blockchain. You say if like some people they are looking for like want to be a like maybe front end or back end engineer, they can just uh find the company's Twitter. No, we should call it X now. Reach
Oh yes.
and join their yeah, we should call it X now, and join their like Discord and reach out to maybe I don't know their manager or something. Just like how should people reach out to them and just and just tell, oh, just ask them, do you have some position available, and how should we, and what kind of portfolio they are looking for.
Yeah, you would be surprised. In the crypto industry, what I've noticed is if you go to their Discord channel and you like message the the team, they actually do reply. It's quite surprising. Like if I go to Citibank and I ask them, "Oh, can I talk to your CEO?" They will just say, "Go away." But and
That's
yeah,
good.
for crypto projects, they're surprisingly responsive.
Hmm. So like people can just reach out to the team, like say, okay, maybe they have a position available, or maybe they don't have, but they can just tell them, okay, I have this background, and maybe um do you have a position available, and can send you my CV and talk to your hiring manager, etc.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And obviously, like it's not going to work 100% of the time, but
Yeah, of course.
try it out. Why, like, see what happens.
Okay, that's and are they looking for like I also want to ask, it's like, are they like open for like kind of a very junior position, or they actually prefer like more senior engineer?
I would say they. I mean, it definitely depends on the startup, but
Mhm,
I
mhm.
would say they should be hiring across the spectrum.
Mm,
Like, uh, you have senior positions available. You also have junior positions available.
okay. Okay, check. Okay, our audience are quite quiet tonight, but feel free to ask questions if you still have something in your mind. And actually, uh, so let's say if the people want, even for like engineer, if they don't have, I want to ask is how much knowledge they need to have in this industry, or like is any the basic knowledge they should have, like before they maybe even try to have apply for a job or have an interview.
I mean, I think like okay, I think if you want to spend some time reading X, which is by far the best source of for crypto material, by the way, just
Ah,
go on X, follow some crypto accounts. Um, yeah, I think some knowledge would definitely be useful, like understanding what's the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, like yeah, the very basic stuff is important. But I don't think you need to be an expert in say like Solidity before you apply. I think part of those things you can just learn on the job because like
mm,
the logic you learn in as a programmer, um, the if else statements, all of these all of these um, different concepts, you can apply them into different languages. It's just a different syntax.
okay. Okay, there's something from our audience sharing my personal experience. I had not worked with crypto before, just little investment and knowledge, and got hired. And I do have colleagues who never invest or are not familiar. My company is willing to teach along the way. That sounds good.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you
yeah,
for sharing.
yeah. Are you looking to switch jobs now, Peggy?
No, not yet. I think what from a person, now I'm talking about myself, from a person from a business background. I try to understand a bit of like Web3, blockchain, etc. I still, I, I say I'm not really confident to step into this industry yet.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think um, this industry does require like people that are more willing to take risks. You do see you do tend to see that kind of person um,
Mm-hmm.
like participate in the industry because honestly these are quite it's a fun industry, but it's also quite risky. Like the chance of a crypto startup failing is much higher than say Citibank failing. Uh, so there is a really good chance that you will be out of a job in 2 years. Um,
Wow.
but my argument is you can
Mm.
always go back. So if you try something new and it doesn't work out, then you can go back. If that's the worst case, the worst case is
Yes.
you go back to your previous job and you lose like 2 years of your life. But the the best case scenario is you join like this fast growing startup and you learn a lot, and maybe that will propel you to an even bigger thing further on.
Mm. Yeah, that's yes, that's
Yeah.
good
So
argument.
it really depends on you. Like if you're the kind of person that can't like doesn't like taking risks or can't afford to take a risk, then
Mm.
yeah, that's this is definitely not for you. But
Mm.
if you like taking risk and you can like afford to lose 2 years of your life, then yeah, why not try it out?
Yeah, I think yeah, I think I agree with you because I think 2 years of I would say a learning experience. See that you spend 3 years or 4 years in university, right? And some people
Yeah,
still
you
don't learn
get paid to
anything at all.
learn. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of like getting a degree, but you get paid to do it.
yeah. And yes, I think we have more questions in the chat. Let me check. So I have got crypto knowledge, but I haven't got absolutely no qualification or experience related to the crypto industry. Is there a chance for me?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think so. You just find some projects or companies that you're interested in and go talk to them. I think in crypto right now, like showing interest is just as important as having the knowledge because like honestly the knowledge keeps on changing. Like if you if you know like stuff from 2 years ago and you've stopped following crypto for 2 years, you wouldn't be able to know what's happening now because things are evolving very fast. So
Hmm.
the key I think for crypto is you have to be very willing to keep yourself up to date, and you have to be very willing to just keep on learning.
Hmm. Okay, I think it's echo to our next question. So Nahira asks, how do you stay update on the latest trend and developments in the crypto space, and how can this knowledge contribute to career growth?
Yeah, so I think the best way to keep yourself updated and to follow the latest trends is to just stay on top of X. Just like follow as soon as you see like something on X that you think is quite interesting, just follow that account, and like the algorithm will feed you related stuff. And like information spreads pretty fast there, I'd say. So as soon as you there's also some Telegram accounts that are pretty good. Like there's some channels that you can subscribe to, and they will feed information over time. I think there's one called Unfolded. There's another one called Woo Blockchain. I think Woo Blockchain. Those are both pretty good. I think they feed you maybe like 3 4 pieces of information every day, like just keeping on top of what's happening. And at the beginning, you might not be able to understand what people are saying, and that's perfectly fine, because it's a different language. Like what people say in crypto, like maybe all the terminology will be confusing to you, but just like persevere. If you see something you don't understand, just like search it up, and over time you'll start to understand what, I don't know, EVM means, or yeah, what layer two is. You will figure it out.
Okay, thank you. I hope that answer your question, Nafira. But I think you say you have like a mathematics background, right, Nafira? So I'm sure you will get it kind of really easy to understand the knowledge if you have a mathematics background.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the DeFi segment, which is decentralized finance. So it's the part of the segment of blockchain where people are trying to um, remove the banks, essentially, just put
Mm,
everything in finance onto the blockchain. There's a lot of like mathematical formulas there to that underlie the whole how all the apps run, and that's quite interesting for a math major, I'd say.
okay, okay, Nahira, you say you have some knowledge on blockchain. Okay, so we still have like 10 minutes. So everyone, if you still have question, and feel free to ask. And more on algorithm use. And actually, I also have something in my mind is like how how AI has affected the industry, and like should people be aware of how AI will change the industry?
In crypto, I mean, I know from a trading point of view, people do use AI and machine learning to build trading models, because they can use they can take all the data from the exchanges, apply a machine learning model, and use that to predict how prices will move over time. And yeah, so that's quite interesting. I think from like a blockchain project, blockchain startup point of view, I mean, for games, like you see people, the game engines use AI to generate much more realistic visuals. So I think you see AI affects blockchain just like they affect regular startups in the real world.
Mhm. Okay. And also, I'm also quite curious. Have you ever like took any course related to like Web3 or crypto, or you just like
Yeah,
just
so I did not. Back when
okay?
I was in school, that wasn't a thing. It's quite
Yeah.
interesting. You do see like uh, more classes being taught in that area now. Like I saw this class at some university. I forgot which university. And they were teaching about how like DeFi AMMs and how they work. It's wow. It's like wow. That's something that is quite new. That's like something that I have that is just like 2 3 years old. So yeah, you definitely start to see more of that, uh, and the students that are the people in our audience that are currently students maybe can consider taking some of those classes.
Mm, okay. Yes. Yeah, I think that yeah, of course for me that like was when I was still studying in university, I never seen that kind of course.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, when we were in school, it blockchain wasn't really that big of a thing.
Yeah. Mm. And so I think we still have around 10 minutes. So feel free to ask question. And so actually one question from me is that what was your biggest challenge when you just maybe in the beginning of like step into like maybe in the beginning is like more like finance and the crypto. So is there any challenge when you like try to transit your career into the different
Well, I
area?
mean, I think with every transition, you always have it's always a steep learning curve to begin with, because you're trying something that you've never tried before. So when I first joined finance, I had like basically zero finance knowledge. So I remember asking my boss at the time, just like, oh, what are all these terms? How do they work? And I remember my hands were shaking when I pressed my first trade, because I was like, wow, this is I don't know, so a few $1 million uh,
Wow.
that I'm buying and selling, and I just click a button and it goes. And what if I click the wrong direction? What if I buy instead of
Wow.
sell? So a lot of that was running through my mind. But like after a while, you make a few mistakes. I certainly did, and you make it you but you learn over time. You're like, oh, and you get more confident. So I think um and the steep learning curve, I think, kind of forces you to learn, so you become a stronger person out of it.
Mm, okay. Right. So we have some question coming up. So actually, what makes Beyonce stand out compared to their competitors? Why are they such as a big player in exchange industry?
Yeah, so well, Binance, I would say they were extremely good at marketing. um they have a very loyal user base. Well, and a lot of that is probably because they do a lot of stuff very well. So they have their BNB token is run very well. You see a lot of like um, gifts in a way, by them giving out launch pool, launchpad allocations. Um, the other exchanges can't really seem to do that well. The other exchanges don't have the pipeline of good startups, good projects to do this. And the Binance app, I would say, is just relatively easier to use than the other apps, and they haven't had as many problems. So, like OKX, for example, a few years ago, they people couldn't withdraw. Huobi kind of had the same problem. So you see a lot of the weaker exchanges, they they've kind of shot themselves in the foot uh, a few times, whereas Binance, they've kind of managed to stay out of that, and over time they've built a lot of brand loyalty. And obviously, from
Okay.
like a market making point of view, they have the deepest liquidity for most trading pairs. So if I were to want to buy, like buy or sell, it's very likely that Binance gives me the best price compared to other exchanges.
Okay. Let's answer your question. And we have one more for Azim. Should we focus on doing projects or certificate to get recognized by recruiters?
Um, yeah, that's definitely a way to do it. I don't think there are actually that many recruiters out there, to be honest, for crypto for the crypto industry. I would say you could do a project, and maybe if you're interested in a company, just tell them and show them like the project, show them your GitHub, like give them the link, and show them what you've done, and yeah, that will give. I think that will give the company a better sense of your capabilities.
Okay, thank you. Hope that answer your question, ASEAN. And okay, there's another question coming up. What would the timing of their launch a big factor for their success as well? Since a
Yeah,
follow-up
definitely.
question from previous one.
I mean, I think it's definitely a combination. So they definitely had good timing. They launched, like they managed to capture the the whole bull run, um, from like basically when they started all the way up, and but other exchanges were out there too. Like so, you had they were they they Binance started after OKX, I believe, and there were quite a few others before that Binance basically overtook and just basically relegated them to nothingness. So I mean, you had BitMEX, which at one point was huge, but they got caught up in some in with the U.S. government and some like KYC scandal. So I think Binance has been quite uh, impressive in the sense that they haven't had too many big scandals come out.
Right. I hope that also answer your question. And just we only have the like 2 minutes to go uh, to finish this session. So if you have any question, you can put that in the chat. And but maybe Max, you can also give our audience a final message, like like how about like how they can like prepare to get into the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I think just if you're interested, just work hard, read the news, see what's interesting to you, um, and just go talk to them. And yeah, best of luck. I think
Okay,
things will work out.
right, let me check. Okay, so if there's no further question, then we will close the session. And thank you so much, Max, for sharing your experience, your knowledge with us. And of course, thank you for those who joining from, I don't know, from Hong Kong, from Malaysia, or from uh, everywhere. And thank you for joining with us. And thank you for spending your 1 hour with us tonight. And and of course, and we will schedule more sessions in coming months. And we hope we can see you again next time. And thank you, everyone. Have a nice evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peggy,
Thank
for
you.
having
Thank
me.
you. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.